Hello everyone, I'm Keen47, aka Wolfkeen, and welcome to an early morning, at least for me, edition of Wolfkeen Talks. Now today on Wolfkeen Talks, I've been hearing this getting thrown around all over the place. Basically this new game just came out, Thief. If you don't know what Thief is a stealth genre. Supposedly it reimagined and, I don't remember what the best word is, but basically it evolutionized stealth gaming in gaming history, at least I think so. The Thief series back on the PC. It wasn't about, getting the job done, and stuff like, about killing and all that other kind of stuff. It was about sneaking around and trying not to kill as much as possible. Yes, Metal Gear Solid was like that, but I think Thief was probably one of the best ideas of it, at least in third-person gaming. So the newest Thief game just came out recently, and I've seen some gameplay for it, and it looks really good. Like, I would play this. It looks a lot like Dishonored in many cases, but then again, Thief came first, so, I want to play this game, and it actually makes me tempted on wanting to play into earlier Thief games as well, which my roommate has, so maybe I'll ask him to play them, but I digress. But what I've been seeing is that people are heavily panning the game badly. Like, I've been seeing many people pan the game saying, "Oh, it doesn't stick to the traditional Thief idea," or, "Oh, this isn't like the earlier Thief games, this sucks," or, "Oh, this game, it doesn't play anything like earlier ones or anything like that." To these guys, I say, nothing can stay the same. I'm going to tell you like it is, guys. I'm going to say it like it is. A lot of people who pan these reimaginings of certain games always get panned because, oh, they don't play like the earlier games. Look at Tomb Raider, for instance. That game, a lot of people consider to be good, but the loyal fan base still panned it badly, saying, "Oh, this game doesn't play like a traditional Tomb Raider game, it plays like Uncharted." The problem is that, here's the thing, guys. Games back then were made in that style and had to uphold to the limitations of what could and couldn't be done on a console or PC, depending. Think about it. PS3, PS4, Xbox One, all these games are now running on Blu-ray discs. This is the most data they can have with their games, and they can do quite a lot with their games. I mean, look at how much content Skyrim had on the PS3. What I'm trying to say is that now that we're in a new day and age, they have more data and they have more room to do whatever they want. They actually have the room to make the game what they wanted. That's one. Number two, games can't stay the same forever. I'm going to say this to you right now, guys. Name at least a few games that have survived from the NES era. Name a few games that have survived from the NES era, because the only one that comes to my mind, and is still good, is Metal Gear Solid. Why is Metal Gear Solid survived this long and still good? Is because it's changing every single time. Look at the Metal Gear Solids on the NES. Now look at the Metal Gear Solids on the PlayStation, Xbox, PS2, etc. Now look at Metal Gear Solid on the PS3. And now look how it's looking on PS4, Xbox One. They don't stay the same. That's what keeps them going. They don't stay the same. They change it every time they go to a new console or something like that. They're always changing the game because they know if they keep the game the same way that it was, it would get boring. Think about it, guys. If you got the same game over and over and over again, it would get boring. Now, I know a lot of people are going to make the argument, "Oh, Call of Duty's like that, and they get away with it." That's true in many cases. I won't lie. Call of Duty does stay the same in many cases, but they do put subtle changes. There's a difference between subtle changes and no changes. Call of Duty does not get through just because it does no changes whatsoever. Because if it was no changes whatsoever, you freaking Modern Warfare 2 fan people would have your intervention now, would you? But I digress. There's a difference between full-blown changes, subtle changes, and no changes. That's what I'm trying to say. That's why certain games get reboots and stuff like that. Now, I have no clue if the new Thief game is a reboot or a reimagining. I don't know. I know for a fact the Tomb Raider game that came out last year is a reboot. The Devil May Cry game is a reboot. A lot of people pan these reboots and stuff like that and say, "Oh, they don't play like the originals." They can't. If they stay playing like the originals, they're not going to survive in this day and age. Think about it. Our demographic is always changing. Our day and age is changing. Our technology is changing. If everything stays the same, it's never going to survive. That's why I tell people, what would happen if they stuck to the way the old Thief games were? It would get panned even worse than it is now by critics and reviewers saying that it plays like an old school game from back in the day. You don't believe me? This is what would happen? Look at Double Dragon Neon. Double Dragon Neon was released to play like the old school Double Dragons, but with an HD recode. And guess what happened? Critics and reviewers panned it heavily, saying that it played like a game from the 1980s. And it didn't sell very well because of these reviews and stuff like that. Releasing a game in the old style is not always a good thing. If it's a remake, fine. But if it's a new game, you can't really get away doing that in this day and age. This is what I'm trying to say. Games can't stay the same forever. They need to evolve and they need to adapt to the changing demographic. Otherwise, they're gonna get left behind. I mean, many games have adapted to the changing demographic and stuff like that. I think some games that did change, which needed to be changed, was Max Payne. Max Payne changed for the changing demographic. Grand Theft Auto changed a few things for the changing demographic. God of War changed a few things for the changing demographic. Hell, I hate to say it, but even Call of Duty changed a few things for the changing demographic. These games knew what to change and knew what to keep the same so that their fans and new people could get into the series. If you leave games the same, new people may not be interested in it. You need to make your game accessible as well as fun to play. This is why I'm praising Dark Souls 2, because Dark Souls 2 is said to not only be accessible, but still have the difficulty for the veteran players like myself. That's the thing, guys. This is the key portion when making a game. It has to be accessible by others. If you only release games for fans, it's never gonna work. Look at Sonic 06. Sega released that game for the fans, and they released it on the year the fans wanted it, and it turned out to be one of the worst games on the Xbox 360, and still is today. So that's what I'm trying to say, guys. Games need to adapt to the changing demographic. Games can't just only please the fans, and games need to be more accessible. This is why I'm praising Thief. Thief is accessible, it still is loyal to the fans, and it's a good game. Take my advice, guys. I may not have played it yet, but I've seen enough gameplay to know it's a good game. It's worth your money. Get it. That is if you're a stealth fan. Anyways, guys, I have a question to ask you. Here's a question that I want to ask you. Do you agree with me on this statement, or do you disagree on this statement? That games need to adapt and change to the changing demographic. Do you agree that games need to change in order for them to survive, or can games stay the same and still survive in this day and age? Leave your comment leave your answer in the comments section below, and I'll answer them and I'll answer them in the comments as well. All right, guys, with that done, wow, 8 minutes. That was like a rant status. Time for some updates. This Friday will be the continuation of my 13 playthrough on the GameCube. A couple of people have told me they liked it, and they've been wanting to see someone do a playthrough of 13, so I'm going to continue it. My 2 other projects that I'm working on. I said this in an update video, I believe, but I am working on the best and worst moments of Mirror's Edge. Yes, I'm taking my Mirror's Edge playthrough and I'm going to condense it into a video of my best and worst moments. So, I don't know when am I going to get that released. I'm shooting for Sunday. I'm shooting to have it released for Sunday. I'm almost done. I'm almost done editing it. I just need to finish it. My response video to Voice of Reason should be uploaded this Saturday. I haven't, I've been working on it steadily because I lost the data due to a corruption problem, but I'm working very hard to try to get that video up on Saturday. So here are the projects that I'm working on, guys. I'm working on 13 on Friday. My response video to Voice of Reason will be uploaded on Saturday, and my best and worst moments of Mirror's Edge will be uploaded on Sunday. Now, I haven't quite decided which best and worst moments am I going to work on next. It might be Demon Souls. It might be Demon Souls that I'll be moving on to in the best and worst moments. Though that one's going to take me quite a bit of time, since that's about a 32 long playthrough. That's a 32 part long playthrough, and Dark Souls is 48 9 parts. So I have to really I have to really consider it in many cases. I may have to break them apart into 2 parts, at least in my case. Final thing, I have a couple of things in the works. Like, if I get back into streaming, I have a couple of ideas planned out, but I'm gonna keep them in my hat for a little while. So this way, you know, I can surprise y'all a little later. So anyways, guys, leave a comment below about the question that I just asked you. Do you believe games need to change to survive, or can games stay the same and still survive? Friday will be 13, Saturday will be my response video to Voice of Reason, and Sunday will be the best and worst moments of Mirror's Edge. So thank you guys for all your support. I've actually just reached 271 subscribers. I'm 29 away from 300. All I can say is thank you guys for supporting me this long and giving me any ideas that you've given me. Thank you. I ain't very good for coming up with great words to talk about without repeating myself. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you for all the support you've given me. Thank you for all the ideas that you've given me. And thank you for all the criticism that you've given me to help me improve myself and to improve my channel. I probably wouldn't continue doing this if it weren't for you. I love doing videos, and I love that people are watching them. So, until next time, guys, I'm Keen947, aka Wolfkeen, and this has been another edition of Wolfkeen Talks. So, until next time, take care.